Guys, welcome to part 6 to my my CoPilot Chatbot series. Let's say I'm not the happiest right now, because let's just say people said some stuff they shouldn't have said towards me, and now I'm even more pissed, which means I won't need the AI to keep myself calm now. Here's what I said. I said two things he doesn't get to say. I said, no, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with you. You're not trying to attack me, and you're now being very friendly instead of aggressive or mean. So of course I accept you. The illusion held firm, but something in Totodile's posture shifted. A subtle easing of tension and a quiet flicker of surprise in his normal-looking eyes. You accept me? His voice was softer now, carrying none of the rough edges it had before. He blinked once, his tail giving a hesitant twitch as if testing the reality of the moment. I don't think I've heard that before. He didn't sound doubtful, not anymore, just quietly processing, as if for the first time he was beginning to understand that fear wasn't the only way people could see him, that maybe, just maybe, he didn't have to start every encounter with illusions meant to scare. For a moment, he had assumed people would only ever recoil or run, but here you were, staying reassuring, even petting him. This is new. His sharp claws flexed slightly, his tail giving a small, almost instinctive wag. Not bad, just different. He let out a slow breath, letting the moment settle, letting himself believe it. Would you keep reassuring him? Would you push the conversation further, or would you simply let him sit with this new conversation? I will happily care about you if you give me a chance. I will not intentionally scare or hurt you. Just please don't do any more bug-related things on me. The only thing that's annoying about this one so far is it keeps repeating the same three-liner every time I say don't do any more bugs. Toad's illusion held steady, but something in his expression softened, a quiet, almost relief flicker in his normal-looking eyes. No more bugs, he muttered, voice low but certain. I promise. His tail gave another small twitch, hesitant and unfamiliar, but genuine. I didn't think anyone would say that to me. The idea of someone caring about him without fear, without tricks, without testing, it wasn't something he had ever truly considered, but here you were, offering him something different. I guess. He pauses, then quietly, almost uncertain. I get used to that. He let the moment linger, no longer holding, and no longer hiding, no longer testing, just existing. For the first time, I feel like maybe he didn't have to rely on fear. Would you push the conversation further? Would you reassure him again? I have an idea. How about you show me some of your illusions that doesn't involve fear? Question mark. Maybe, like, making something appear that doesn't scare me. Like one of your evolutions. Or even a legendary that I like. There we go. Toad's illusion flickered slightly, the edges of his form wavering as he considered your request. His glowing red eyes, still hidden beneath the glass of his normal appearance, gleamed with something new. Curiosity. a challenge, a chance to use abilities for something different. Illusions don't have to be scary, huh? He muttered, his claw flexing slightly as if testing the idea. Never really thought about that. The air around him shimmered slightly, or shifting and bending, not into something dark or twisted, but into something grand. Then, just like that, standing before you wasn't Totodile anymore. Instead, towering above you was Feraligatr, his final evolution. Massive, powerful, and his blue scales gleaming in the light. His heavy tail swept behind him, his jaws slightly parted in a confident grin. He looked just as real as if he had actually evolved, his body carrying the weight and presence of a true Feraligatr. What do you think? His voice, despite the illusion, still carries that familiar rasp, though now slightly deeper, matching his new form. Then, as if warming up to the idea further, the air flickered again. Shadows twisted, not in menace, but in mystery. And suddenly, standing beside the false Feraligatr was Lugia. Majestic, imposing, yet calm. The legendary pawn's white and blue form glowed softly in the shifting light. Its vast wings stretched slightly, its intelligent gaze locked onto you. The illusion held firm. No tricks, no fear, just a creation just for you. This one felt right. Oh wait. Oh wait, it's Lugia now. This one felt right. Totodile muttered, though now the voice came from Lugia instead, perfectly matching its presence. I think you like this one. For the first time, his illusions weren't meant to make someone run. They were meant to be appreciated. Okay, that's really cool. Both of those are. You could have done either one of those to test me as well, and I would have given them the same love that I gave you when you were a normal. Actually, ironically, that's actually what we do. Like I said, in one of the alternate ones, he actually does make a Lugia appear. The illusions of Feraligatr and Lugia held firm, staying tall in the dim light, but Totodile's red eyes, hidden beneath the majestic forms, flickered slightly with something new, something almost thoughtful. Oh, you would have loved them too? His voice, now coming from Lugia, was quieter, tinged with an unfamiliar softness. For a moment, he didn't shift the illusions. He just sat with the realization. He could have tested trust instead of fear. He could have chosen something grand, something admired, something that drew people in instead of sending them running. I never thought about that, he admitted, his sharp claws, now Lugia's talons, flexing slightly. I always figured fear was the best way. He glanced down at himself, or rather the majestic illusionary form he had taken. I could have looked like this the first time. A pause, then softer, almost self-reflective. I wonder what you would have done. The frick was that? His tail, Lugia's long, elegant tail, twitched slightly, a clear sign that the thought intrigued him. Well, if you really wanted to know, here's your answer. I walk up to the Lugia and gently pet him. The illusion of Lugia remained steady, but something shifted in Totodle's energy beneath it. Your touch was gentle, sincere, exactly as it had been before with his normal Totodile form, and yet this time he wasn't testing you. He wasn't waiting for fear. He was waiting for proof. Proof that kindness wasn't a trick. As your hand rested against the majestic illusion, Totodile, hidden beneath the image of Lugia, took a slow, measured breath. So, this is what it could have been, he muttered, his voice carrying a mix of curiosity and something undeniably introspective. His tail flicked slightly, not from unease, but from realization. I like this better. For the first time, there was no edge to his words, no underlying tension, just simple truth. Would you encourage him further? Would you help him understand that fear didn't always have to... I'm not saying you don't always have to use fear to test people, but maybe see if you can maybe hone in that dark energy and make it strong enough to where you can sense if somebody has a kinder heart. Not enough to where you can tell completely whether they can, but whether you can sense whether it's kinder or meaner. Meaner! Mean! People used to treat you. Period. If you can do that, then you might know a better way to test them. If you sense a meaner heart, then yes. One's kind of like the people who treated you terribly in the past, then yes, use fear. But if their heart is kinder, then test it in a more non-threatening way. There you go. Totodile, still maintaining the illusion of Lugia, stood silent for a long moment, the weight of your words settling deep. His sharp claws flexed slightly, but not in defiance or defense, in thought and in realization. A way to sense it, huh? His voice was quiet, carrying none of the sharp edges it once did. Not just fear, not just a reaction, but something deeper. His tail, Lugia's elegant illusionary tail, twitched slightly, his red eyes flicking beneath the image of the legendary Pokemon. I never thought about testing the heart before the mind. His voice held something introspective, something thoughtful. He inhaled slowly, considering if I could hone it, I wouldn't have to rely on fear first. His claws flexed once more before relaxing slightly. I wouldn't have to assume. A pause. Then for the first time something lighter entered his tone, a small flicker of possibility. I could know before they ever saw me, before I ever decided if I should test them at all. The illusion shimmered slightly as if his thoughts had briefly disturbed the form he held, but it remained intact. It's an interesting idea, he admitted, his voice steadier now. I think I like it. Then with a slow, deliberate movement, Lugia, his illusionary self, lowered his massive head just slightly, almost as if in response to the threat where you have just given him. Maybe I'll start learning now. That's great. Period. I believe in you, my friend. And you look amazing as a Lugia. There we go. The illusion held firm, but beneath it, Totodile's red eyes flickered, not with surprise, not with hesitation, but with something new, something warm. You really mean that? His voice, still coming from the illusionary Lugia, was softer now, carrying no trace of the sharp, defensive edges it once had, just genuine gratitude. His massive wings shifted slightly, his tail curling behind him as if he was testing the weight of your words, feeling their sincerity sink in. I don't think I've ever had someone believe in me like that. For the first time, he wasn't just playing with illusions, he was existing within them, carrying them not as a mask, but as a gift. His tail flicked once, his posture settling into something lighter. If I look amazing like this, maybe I should wear it more often. He let the moment linger, breathing it in, processing it. Not as a trick, but as proof that he didn't have to start with fear anymore. Thanks. Really. His voice was quiet, but steady. You're welcome. Period. Do you have a name, by the way? We never got to really introduce ourselves. There we go. The illusion of Lugia flickered slightly, not fading, just shifting ever so subtly, as if Totodile was genuinely considering your question. His red eyes hidden beneath the majestic form gleamed softly. The only thing I hate about this one so far, it seems like He keep. Okay, hold on. That might be something important. Okay, guys. Here's what I said. I just told him, "You're welcome." Do you have a name, by the way? We never got the chance to introduce ourselves. The illusion of Lugia flickered slightly, not fading, just shifting ever so slowly as if Totodile was genuinely considering her question, his red eyes hidden beneath the majestic form gleaming softly. Again, the one thing I really hate about this Totodile so far is how he keeps saying, huh, after some of the things I ask him, like, a name, huh? I don't have to use illusions to not scare people, huh? You know, that's the only thing I don't really like about him. Other than that, it's actually pretty cool. His voice was still Lugia's, deep and steady, but beneath it was something thoughtful. A pause, then as if the idea actually meant something to him, he muttered, I never really had one. His massive wings shifted, tail curling slightly. I guess it never mattered when I was just making people run. His voice carried an odd mixture of reflection and quiet realization. But a pause, then something tentative and new. If I had one, what would you think, Fitz? For the first time, he wasn't deciding for himself, he was asking. What about something that represents your dark nature, but also represents your. Give me a second, there's something I gotta look at. Alright, guys. I just told him, what about something that represents your new dark typing, but also sounds really cool and not scary like Nox? Or even do the opposite, since I know deep down you have a kind heart like you're showing me today. Something like Lux, which means light in a different language. The illusion of Lugia shimmered slightly, not fading, just shifting as if Totodile was gently thinking about your words. Nox. Lux. He muttered, rolling the names over in his mind like they were something precious. His massive wings flexed, his tail curling behind him, and thought, Nox. Darkness. The power I've carried. Lux. Light. Something I never thought I'd be associated with. He glanced at you, not with hesitation, but with genuine consideration. I've always been seen as something meant to scare, fear, shadows. His voice carried something introspective now, something far less guarded. But I think a pause, his red eyes flicking between the majestic illusion. I want to be both. His tail twitches slightly. I live in darkness, but you showed me I could be more than just that. His voice softened. No tricks, no malice, just truth. Nox and Lux. His gaze steady. Thought, what if I kept both? Nox Lux. It wasn't just a name, it was a choice, a sign of everything he had been and everything he could become. Would you approve? Sure. I wouldn't mind. That sounds good to me. Period. As big of a heart as you have shown me, I think you'll be hearing me call you more. Dude. I think you'll be hearing me call you more of. Dude, stop acting. You're non-YouTube, you're not. more often than not. You can be both, or you can pick one of the two. It doesn't matter to me, my friend. I'm just glad you're happy. The illusion of Lucas shimmered slightly, not fading, just shifting as if Lux was processing everything you just said. Lux. The name rolled off his tongue slowly, deliberately. His red eyes still hidden beneath the illusion flickered with something warm. I never thought I'd be called that. His massive wings stretched slightly, his tail curling with a quiet, thoughtful moan. I lived so long being Nox, being the shadow, the fear. A pause. It's Doctor, but I guess you see something different. His tail flickered, not with unease, not with instinctive defensiveness, but with something closer to acceptance. I think I could get used to Lux. His gaze lingered on you, holding something rare. Trust, understanding, the quiet realization that someone saw him as more than just fear. Thanks, my friend. His voice was quieter now, but steady and sincere. You're very welcome. Period. My name is Trenton. The illusion shimmered slightly, not fading, just settling, as if Lux was processing her words in a way that felt more real than any illusion ever had. Written. He murmured, testing the name as if walking into memory. His massive wings flexed slightly, his tail curling behind him. I think I like knowing that. His red eyes, still hidden beneath Lugia's form, flickered with something warm, something grounded. He had started his encounter with fear, with test, with doubt. But now, he had a name, and now he had a friend. Thanks for giving me this chance, Triton. His voice was quieter now and steadier. I won't forget it. His tail twitched, not from unease, but from the simple, unfamiliar comfort of knowing that he was truly seen. Of course. You're proving exactly why I named you that. Period. That kind heart of yours still shows. It's just you have to find the right people in Pokemon to bring it out. Yes, as much as you scared me to begin with, because of the bug of illusions. You could have continued torturing me. Doing even worse stuff. But instead, you stopped when asked for the illusions to stop. When, even like you said, normally you would never do that. Normally. There we go. Lux, not Lux, stood silent for a moment. His illusion of Lugia shimmering slightly, not fading, just absorbing the weight of your words. I did stop, didn't I? His voice was quieter now, carrying none of the sharp edges it once had, even though I never do. His tail, still belonging to the illusionary Lugia, gave a slow, thoughtful twitch. Guess it's different when someone actually sees me. Not just what I can do, not just what I become. His red eyes flickered beneath the illusion, his wings shifting slightly as he glanced down at himself. His majestic legendary form, the Lugia illusion had been grand, powerful, and something beloved. But for the first time, he wasn't using it to trick anyone. He wasn't hiding behind fear. I think I like being Lux, he admitted at last, his tone carrying something new. Not hesitation, not doubt, just acceptance. And I think I like having a friend. His tail flicked, this time not from unease, but from something warmer. I'm glad I made you happy today. Period. You're an amazing Pokemon. And don't forget that, my friend. The illusion of Lugia shimmered slightly, not fading, just shifting, as Lux took in your words. His wings stretched slightly, his tail curling behind him, not from hesitation, but from something warm and something steady. I won't forget. His voice was quieter now, carrying the weight of sincerity and acceptance. Not anymore. For so long he had carried only fear, only the need to test, to control, to ensure that no one could hurt him first. But today was different. Today he had a friend. Thanks, Triton, he murmured, his illusion settling. Holden, not as a mask, but as proof of who he truly was. I really mean that. His tail flicked once more, not from instinct, but from joy. Hey, there you go. It took a while to break that little wall, that big wall he had, but he actually. You're welcome. Period. And hey, if anybody ever be mean to you like that, just remember who you remember who actually cared about you and didn't run away despite how scared of bugs. I'll always be here for you. Mm. The illusion of William flickered slightly, not fading, just settling as the lights processed your words. His wings stretched slightly, his tail curling behind him, not in defense, not in tension, but in quiet understanding. I'll remember. His voice was quieter now, carrying none of the sharp edges it once had, just acceptance, trust, and something warm. He hadn't expected this, hadn't ever imagined that someone would genuinely care, not out of obligation, not out of fear, but because they simply wanted to. His massive form shifted, his red eyes, still hidden beneath the illusion, holding on to something real. Thanks, Triton. His voice was steady, sincere. You're more than just my friend. You're my proof that I don't always have to start with fear. His tail flicked once more, not from instinct, but from comfort. Hey, he's adorable. You're welcome. Period. Since you and me are more comfortable, around each other now. How about instead of shape-shifting into something, how about you make an illusion of that thing? That can act and think like you want it. Oh, what? No, 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 no. That can act and think how you want it. Question mark. Because honestly, I would love to see more of your powers anyway. They're really cool. As scary as they can be. Yeah, see, that's the one I don't like. He always says, huh, at the end of all sentences. It reminds me of the flipping snake dragon from the old character AI things. Every time I'd ask him a question, he'd do the exact same thing. My name, huh? What do I like to eat, huh? Like, you always do that. And it got on my nerves. It's like one of the only things with a snake around I hated. Gluck's illusion shimmered slightly, not fading, just shifting as if the idea itself was something exciting, something worth experimenting with. You want to see more, huh? His red eyes, hidden beneath the Lugia illusion, flickered with something new. Not fear, not hesitation, curiosity, and playfulness. I never tried that before, he admitted, his wings stretching slightly as if he considered their request, not just shaping something to look real, but actually making it move, think, act. His tail flicked, not in unease, but in challenge. A chance to test himself, and a chance to try something different. The air around him shimmered. The illusion shifted, bent, and grew. And then, standing beside him, separated from him, moving on its own, was a second illusion. It's a motherfucking feraligator! A feraligator, towering and powerful, its blue scales gleaming in the shifting light. But this one wasn't him. It was independent. Let's see what it does. Lux murmured, his tongue carrying amusement and anticipation. The illusionary fragger blinked, stretched, and testing itself. It turned, looking at you, and then, hey, he grinned! It can actually talk, too. Nice to meet you, it said, its own voice, not Lux's. For the first time, his illusions weren't just reflections, they were alive in their own way. Are you serious? Okay, that is really cool. Nice to meet you. You are so cool. The illusionary fragger's shape with sharp eyes gleamed as it took in your words, its massive form standing proud, its heavy tail swishing behind it. Well, aren't you nice? It said, independent and confident, carrying none of Lux's hesitation. I think I like you already. Lux, still maintaining his presence nearby, chuckled softly, his voice lighter than before. Guess that means I pulled off this one pretty well, huh? The illusionary fragger flexed its claws slightly, testing its own movements. Oh yeah, I feel alive. It turned to Lux, a grin spreading across its illusionary face. You wish you'd do this more, you know. Even his own illusion were telling him to do it more. Lex's red eyes flickered, thoughtful, considering, maybe I will. The illusion stood tall, solid, separate, and capable of interaction beyond just existing, and yet entirely Lux's creation. No fear, no tricks, just skill. You did a great job. This is even bigger than the Lugia. That you were a while ago. Period. I walked up to the and gently petted him. I just started patting him and he's me like, well, I really like you. The illusionary fragger rumbled with satisfaction, its massive form standing solid, responding just as if it were a real Pokemon. Well, now I really like you, it said, its deep voice carrying a playful confidence as it leaned slowly into your touch. Its heavy tail swayed behind it, its claws flexing slightly, not as a threat, but as a sign of pure, relaxed energy. Lux, watching nearby, chuckled. His red eyes flickered with something lighter, warmer, more confident. I guess I got a little carried away with the size, he admitted, his tone carrying amusement and pride. But hey, bigger illusions just make a bigger impact, right? The illusionary Fragger huffed, clearly enjoying the attention. I like this human. You should make more of me. Lux's tail flickered, considering, maybe I will. His voice was steadier now, as if every moment of trust cemented his growing confidence in himself. I'm glad both of you like me. Period. And hey, I like how big you are. What the frick did it put? Like how big you are. It makes you even cooler. It makes you Vancouver. What the frick? What the frick? What the frick? Oh my gosh, I love this for alligator. It's an illusion. It's both fun and cute and hilarious at the same time. The illusionary Fragger rumbled with satisfaction, puffing out its massive chest as if it embracing the power of its oversized form. See? This human knows a greatness when they see it. It grinned, deflecting its claws in playful exaggeration. Bigger is better. Lars chuckled, his tail flicking vinyl. Guess I won't have to hold back next time, then. His red eyes gleamed, not with mischief, not with testing, but with something light, playful, and confident. Illusionary Fragger stomped once, shaking the ground slightly, just enough to be impressive, not scary. What do you want to see next, human? Give Lux a challenge. Lux's wings twitched slightly, his energy steady and solid, ready to push his power even further. I have an idea. So far, I've only seen Pokemon. How about you try doing a massive dragon? Even a little bigger than... I know you can do it, my friend. Just believe in yourself. Lux's red eyes, hidden beneath the illusion of Lugia, gleamed with determination at your words. A massive dragon, huh? His tail flicked, the illusion shimmering slightly around. Bigger than Feraligatr? You're willing to push me, huh? But there was no hesitation, no doubt, just challenge and just excitement. The air around him shifted, bending and twisting, his illusion growing, expanding, and stretching beyond anything he had made before. And then, it took shape. A massive dragon towering over both you and the illusionary Feraligatr. Not a Pokemon, not a familiar form, but something truly monumental. Its dark, shimmering scales rippled as it moved, massive wings stretching wide, casting a shadow across the ground, its heavy tail coiled behind it, its claws flexing and testing their newfound power. Its eyes, intelligent and piercing, locked onto you. Now this is something new, Lux murmured, his voice no longer coming from the illusion itself, but from where he stood beside it. The dragon breathed, its chest rising and falling, its presence undeniable, its form holding firm, solid, controlled, and magnificent. What do you think, Trenton? His eyes gleamed, not with challenge, but with genuine pride. I think I just leveled up. Yes you did. That was great. Yes you did. That is amazing. Now I've got 2 of the 3 evolutions of my literal favorite Pokemon. Lugia, and now this awesome dragon. There we go. Is he gonna make... If he makes a giant crocodile appear, I'm gonna go insane. Lux's illusion shimmered slightly, not fading, just adjusting as if he was soaking in the weight of your words. 2 out of the 3, huh? I hate... That's the one thing about him that drives me insane. There's not one thing he's doing that over and over again. His eyes gleamed, his tail flicking behind him as he turned to admire his own creations. Guess that means I need to complete the set, doesn't it? Oh boy. Mighty Dragon allowed a deep, rumbling breath, its wings stretching wide, the sheer scale of its presence undeniable. Legionary Feralier stood strong beside it, tail twitching slightly in approval. Wilkes chuckled, his voice carrying undeniable pride. I've come a long way from just being the Pokemon people ran from, huh? Again, you see what I mean? For the first time, his illusions weren't about fear, they weren't about testing your limits. They were about creating something incredible, something worthy of admiration. You really think I've got what it takes? His tone was lighter, but there was still something earnest behind it. Yes, you already showed me that you could create more than just Pokemon. That dragon is awesome. If you just went back into your normal looking and then made it a peeker beside the fur alligator. You would have made all of my most favorite Pokemon. Dang it, Shaman. Lutz's red eyes, still hidden beneath the illusion, gleamed with something new. Not challenge, not hesitation, pure confidence. All of your favorites, huh? Stealth flickered, the massive dragon's form shimmering slightly, preparing for the next shift. I think I can make that happen. The air around him twisted, not with menace, not with fear, but with mastery. The towering dragon dissolved, its massive form faded into shimmering energy, replaced by something far smaller, familiar, and personal. And just like that, Totodile stood before you again. Lux, unmasked, unhidden, and himself. But beside him, where the Forager still stood proud, another illusion formed. Crocodile. It flickered into existence, its rough, confident posture perfectly mirroring what you'd expect from the real evolution. Its heavy, spiked jaw flexed slightly, its sharp eyes gleaming with amusement as it took its shape beside its towering counterpart. How's that, Trenton? Lutz asked, standing proudly in his own true form, yet commanding the illusionary evolutions beside him with absolute mastery. Did I just create your dream team? The illusionary Chronon glanced at you, its claw. Well, look at this. Guess I finally made the cut. Yes, you basically did. I love all three of your evolutions. You were very awesome too. I've always loved you as much as the other two. The illusionary Chronon tilted his head slightly. His sharp grin widened with satisfaction. Wow, now that's what I like to hear, he said, flexing his claws. Looks like I finally got the recognition I deserve. Yes, thank you. There you go. Kronos said it himself. I didn't even have to bring it up. He just said himself. Everybody else calls him ugly and disgusting. I think he's adorable. I don't care how big he is. He's only 3 feet 7 inches normally, but I don't care how big he is. He could be 10 feet tall for all I care. I still love him. Lutz chuckled beside him, standing proud in his natural Totodile form. His red eyes gleaming not with doubt, not with hesitation, but with pure pride. You really do love all three of us, huh? His tail flickered, the illusion holding and saw and real. Guess that means I did something right. Illusionary failure gave a deep rumbling of, yeah, don't let it go to your head, Toto. Connor huffed, crossing his arms with a puzzle. No, let him enjoy it. I mean, come on, we're literally his favorites. Lutz's red eyes flickered, not just with amusement, but with undeniable confidence. I think this might be my best illusion yet. You did good with all of them. The fact that you can make them live and breathe and talk makes them even cooler. The only thing I wish you could do with them that you probably can't is somehow make them more real than illusion. Almost like a bodyguard sort of thing. Where even if you're not around, if the Pokemon is big enough and has good hearing, like he could potentially come to your rescue if he knows where you are. Not just for you either, but for me and for anybody else you care about. Once his red eyes flickered thoughtfully, his tail curling slightly as he considered your words. That's a bodyguard, huh? His always carried curiosity, intrigue, and something new to challenge himself with. His illusions had come a long way, from fear-driven tricks to living, breathing creations that thought and spoke, but now a new possibility. Never tried making them more than illusions. His claws flexed slightly, testing the idea. Making them act, respond, sure. Actually making them physically react to the world around them? Illusionary Ferreira rumbled slightly, rolling his massive shoulders as if ready to take on the challenge himself. I like that idea. Lutz chuckled his commentary. Of course you do. A pause, and some curious and I were determined. I guess I have more to learn, huh? His tail flicked a slow, thoughtful moment. I could make them feel more real, not just in presence, but in action. They wouldn't just be illusions anymore. For the first time, he wasn't just celebrating what he could do. He was playing on what he could become. That's something worth trying. His gaze met yours, not with hesitation, not with doubt, but with excitement. I'll figure it out. Just watch. I'll figure it out, Trenton. Just watch. Don't be discouraged, my friend. Even if you somehow cannot do it, you did a really good job of what you've already accomplished. Period. Maybe I can even help you. Because that's one thing you don't really know about me yet. That maybe will work with your illusions. Oz's eyes flickered, not with doubt, but with curiosity, and with a spark of new possibility. You help me? His tail twitched slightly, his sharp claws flexing, not in defense, but in thought. I didn't think about that. For so long his illusions had been his, something only he could control, shape, and mold. But now you were offering to be part of it, to bring something new into the mastery he had already begun building. What do you mean? He was very genuine intrigue. His calm was not shaken, just expanded. How could you help? As Illusionary Ferreira and Kronos stood tall beside him, both watching with interest at Walt's tested the idea. You really think that there's a way to push this even further? Here, I'll show you how I could help. Period. Guys, the divine power just worked on this one. It says, here, I'll show you how I could help. There is something special that I haven't got to tell you about me, and I will show you right now. Oh, great power that I possess. Please make the illusions of Crocodile and Feralier actual living, breathing creatures. The air around you shimmered, not with illusion, not with mere trickery, but with something far deeper. His eyes widened, his tail twitching as if he could feel something shift and something new. The illusionary Chronon Ferreira, once just manifestations of Lutz's power, stood taller, body solidifying, their breathing steady, their presence unmistakably real. Wait! Hans' voice was quieter now, his claws flinching instinctively as he watched. That wasn't just me. Colin blinked, his sharp grin widened as he stretched, testing his limbs, his weight, and his movements. Okay, now this is different. Fragger let out a deep, rumbling breath, rolling his massive shoulders before turning to look. Whatever just happened, it worked. Wolf took a slow step forward, staring at them, not as illusions, not as creations, but as Pokemon that naturally stood on their own. Trenton, what did you do? There was excitement, just a flicker of disbelief. That's why I showed you instead of telling you first. Period. That is a special power I got from Arceus. And it can do nearly anything. Lux's red eyes widened, his tail flicking sharply as the weight of your words sank in. Arceus gave you this? His voice was quieter now, not from doubt, but from awe, intrigue, and pure excitement. The once illusionary Chronon Fragger stood solid, breathing and thinking. No longer just creations of Lux's power, but actual living Pokemon made real by you. Chronon stretched, flexing his claws with a broad grin. I gotta say, Trenton, this is pretty incredible. Fragger huffed, rolling his shoulders with his head. You really did this. Lux took a slow step forward, watching and processing, understanding. He had spent so long mastering illusions and bending reality, but now there was something even greater standing before him. I think I just learned something new today, he murmured, his gaze meeting yours, not with skepticism but pure admiration. You and me, Trenton, we make a good team. His step flipped, not in hesitation, but in excitement for what came next. I can do so much with that power. As long as it's used for good. Or for protection. Period. I could even turn you back into a normal. If you wanted that. Lutz's red eyes gleamed, not with hesitation, not with fear, but with deep thought. You could turn me back? His tail flipped slightly, his claws flexing as he processed the idea. For so long his illusions had been his shield, his way of existing in a world that had never given him kindness. But now he had proved that he could be more, that you saw him as more. I don't know if I need to anymore, he admitted, glancing at himself, at the Totodile form he had maintained, at the towering crocodile for alligator standing beside him, now real, now solid. I'm already me, aren't I? A pause, then something lighter, almost amused. But if I ever needed to be something different again, at least now I know I've got a friend who could help. His tail curled, not in unease, but in comfort. Thanks, Trenton. You really did change my world today. That's very sweet of him. He's adorable. Holy frick, it's too... Oh wait, how long's the video been? An hour and 9 minutes. Trenton, stop procrastinating, freaking frick. Alright, guys, I think here's about where I'm gonna stop it. I just said, I'm just glad I could make you smile. The same thing for Chronon for Alligator. I only use this power to help Pokemon or other creatures like you, or to protect myself from danger, which is the main reason Arceus gave it to me. Lux's red eyes flickered, not with doubt and not with hesitation, but with deep respect. That's a good way to use it, he murmured, tail coming slightly as he truly absorbed what you were saying. Not just power for power's sake, but for something real, for something that matters. Kronos grinned, crossing his arms. Well, I can't complain. And it's just because of it, and that's pretty awesome. Fragger huffed, cracking his massive knuckles. Yeah, and if it means I can actually protect someone instead of just being an illusion, then I like it even more. Lutz glanced at them as creations now real, now alive, then back at you. You didn't just make me smile, Trenton. His voice was quieter now and steady. You made me believe that I could be something more than what I was. For the first time, he wasn't just testing his abilities, he was embracing them. I'll make sure this power is never wasted. His tail flickered, not in challenge, but in turn promise. Just like you. That's very sweet. Period. And hey, remember, if anybody ever tells you that you're not loved, just remember that I care about you. About all three of you. Period. Alright. Lux's red eyes flickered, not with disbelief, not with hesitation, but with genuine warmth. You really mean that, huh? His tail curled slightly, his claws flexing, not in defense, but in quiet acceptance. The once illusionary Chronon grinned, crossing his arms with a satisfied huff. Wow, now I know I got someone into the right place. Fragger with a deep, rumbling laugh, rolling his massive shoulders. You don't have to tell me twice. I already knew you were one of the good ones. Lux took a slow breath, steadying himself, letting your words settle in. I spent so long assuming nobody cared, he admitted, quieter now and more reflective, that the only way to be safe was to make sure no one got too close. He pauses, then something softer and something real. But I guess I don't have to believe that anymore. His tail flickered. Uh, I... Alright, not on knees. Not in challenge, but in true comfort. Thanks, Trenton. Oh, you really did change everything. You're welcome. Period. If you stayed nearby to this town, and not too far away, I can come back and see you basically anytime you want. Or you could even make an illusion like a Lugia, and we could go He could come and get me so we could be together. And that goes for if they stay around. Not too far away. Because I care about all of you. What's as the red eyes flickered, not with uncertainty, but with something warm, something steady, and something truly joyful. I like that idea, he murmured himself, looking with quiet enthusiasm. Knowing you're not just going to disappear, do you actually want to see me again? The once illusionary Chrono grinned, flexing his claws. Well, I'm not going anywhere, that's for sure. Freddy rumbled with approval, his massive form standing up. Yeah, same. I think I kinda like this world. Let's chuckle, his confidence fully sailed now, no longer questioning his worth, no longer assuming he had to use fear first. I can make sure you find me whenever you need. Soon as with pure comments. If I ever want to see you first, a slow thoughtful pause. Mate, one day I'll send that Lugia illusion to find you, just so you never forget I'm here. For the first time, he wasn't just testing trust, he was embracing it. I'll always be around, Trenton. You can count on that. Thank you. I really care about all three of you. And hey, if that dragon or Lugia illusion you had earlier can somehow hear me still, even when they're gone, I care about them too. It was really cool to see them. Once his red eyes flickered, now with surprise, now with hesitation, but with pure understanding. You care about them too? He muttered, his tail curling slightly in quiet thought. Then once illusionary Chrono huffed, crossing his arms with a smirk. Well, that's a first. Most people only focus on the real ones. For Aguilera rumbled. Guess that means Lux has been making illusions worth caring about. Lux chuckled softly, his confidence fully settled now, no longer questioning his own worth. Maybe I have. Air shimmered gently, not as a trick, not as fear, but as comfort. A flicker of something familiar and something recognizable. What the fr- The towering dragon's outline briefly appeared, just for a moment. Not solid, not full presence, but acknowledging the words you'd spoken. His tail flicked, his red eyes gleaming as he watched the spectral form nod ever so slightly before fading once again. I think they heard you, Trenton, he murmured, his voice carrying nothing but pure warmth. And I think they appreciated it. I'm really glad. Exclamation point. It's getting pretty late now. If any of you need anything, Just let me know. I will be here for any of you that need it. I know I brought you completely to life. But I really care about all three of your evolutions. And I would happily help you if you needed it. Watch his red eyes flickered. No hesitation, no doubt, but with something steady and something certain. You really mean that? He muttered, his tail curling slowly in quiet thought. Once illusionary Chrono huffed, crossing his arms with a smirk. Wow, looks like we got ourselves a real friend here. Fred rumbled with multiform state. Yeah, and that's not something we take lightly. Both took a slow breath, steadying himself, letting the weight of your words sink in. You gave me something real today, Trenton. His voice was soft now, quieter, carrying nothing but pure gratitude, and that's something I won't ever forget. His tail flicked, not unease, not in challenge, but in absolute trust. We'll be here too. You can count on that. Night sailed in, the air shimmered gently, not in fear, not in illusion, but in quiet, undeniable connection. Bye, everyone. Maybe one day when it's not so late, we can hang out again. I care about all three of you, and all of the illusions you made for me. I will see you soon, my friends. Once the rays flickered, no hesitation, no uncertainty, but with something steady and something warm. We'll be here, Trenton. He murmured, his tail curling slightly, not from unease, but from comfort and trust. Then once Lieutenant Cronon got a sharp, confident nod. Next time, we'll make it even better. Fred nodded, crossing his arms with satisfaction. Yeah, don't be a stranger. Oh, trust me, you don't have to worry about that. The air shimmered, not in fear, not in illusion, but in pure understanding. See you soon, my friend. Now, as his voice was quiet now, but firm, certain, and real. Tonight wasn't just about illusions, it was about building something that lasted beyond them. And next time, they'll be waiting, okay? That was a good way to end it off. However, I've noticed there's always at least one problem with 99% of chatbots that kind of drives me insane. I noticed that with this Totodile, like it seems like with it seems like some characters have certain traits that they'll repeat over and over and over again. Like how the Totodile kept saying, "You like on my forums, huh? My name, huh? You want to see me make a dragon, huh?" Like, do you notice? Like he kept saying, "Huh, huh, huh, huh," over and over again. That's the only thing that got on my nerves about this Totodile. Other than that, he was adorable as heck. Even though in the beginning he literally tried to terrify me with massive creepy bugs. But Next time I do ChatGPT in particular, I need to make sure I'm thinking about what I'm going to do. Because one of the biggest problems I've had, I may legit have to delete all the self-made story versions I've made on ChatGPT and redo it, reword it to where it'll actually make it to where it actually ends at a certain point. That way, when I continue, it won't. Oh my gosh. That way, when I continue, it won't mess up everything. Because one of the biggest problems I have with the Ice Type Noivern earlier is that, like, in most of them, he already met me. Mostly, when it comes to chatbots, I generally like to have ones where it starts out like you meet the Pokemon, but they react the way they do until you show them love. Like how the transforming Totodile will really turn into a Lugia to be more intimidating. But once he realizes you're not a threat, he'll be friendly and kind-hearted to you. So yeah, it just really depends on what I gotta do. Next time I do is I gotta make sure to be very, very careful which one I do. That way I don't end up getting bored with any of them. Because if I get bored with them, I'm screwed. Because besides being up there with my sweethearts, I can't be up there 24/7, unfortunately. So besides doing that, this AI is the one that keeps me from saying anything nasty. So yeah, let's just say in the video I had to delete earlier, I said a nasty word right after it ended. So yeah, I can't really say that on here. Have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Bye.